After losing his hand and lightsaber on Cloud City, Luke Skywalker returned to Tatooine, searching Obi-Wan Kenobi's hut for answers and Jedi knowledge. This story was first told in the Legends novel Shadows of the Empire, explaining how Luke built his green lightsaber. However, it was also expanded upon in The Life and Legend of Obi-Wan Kenobi, where Luke takes a closer look at Obi-Wan's journal and learns about the Clone Wars and, most importantly, the duel with Darth Vader on Mustafar. It's important to remember that this story takes place immediately after Episode 5, so Luke is still unsure if Vader really is his father, Anakin Skywalker, which is why he wants to learn the truth so badly. Of course, Obi-Wan is well known for bending the truth or wording things from a certain point of view, and his journal entries are no different. Still, Luke learning about the Mustafar duel is a truly monumental moment. As Luke drew closer to the entrance of Kenobi's hut, he sensed a strange tension in the air that reminded him of the disturbing sensation he felt in the cave on Dagobah. Stepping into the small living area, he found the chest that Obi-Wan had extracted his first lightsaber from, the saber that was once his father's. Luke opened the chest and was dismayed to find it completely empty. He hadn't expected to find a lightsaber, but he had hoped to find anything useful. If not a data tape or recording, at least some kind of clue. It didn't take long for Luke to find a trap door within the floor that led to the cellar. Down the bedrock steps, he found Obi-Wan's stores of food and water, a workbench surrounded by shelves of tools, and an intricately carved boa wood box. The keypad on the box opened at the touch of his thumbprint, and inside he found several books. The largest was a leather-bound volume that seemed ancient. On the first pages of that one was a note from Obi-Wan written for Luke, stating that the future of the Jedi Knights was in his hands. Luke blinked at the words as if to confirm they were real, that he wasn't just having a dream. The book felt suddenly very heavy in his hands. He set it down carefully on the workbench and began turning the pages. Every page was filled with handwritten text, and his heart began pounding harder as the various words and phrases caught his attention. Jedi Council, Old Republic, Battle of Naboo, Sith Lords, Jedi Temple, Separatist Movement, Battle of Geonosis, the Clone Wars. Luke stopped to catch his breath. He knew he should start at the beginning, but the book was so thick and he was impatient to find two names in particular. He began flipping through the pages even faster, scanning the text for the names, Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, that he believed were the keys to the answers he sought. Ever since the duel on Cloud City, the two questions that dominated his mind were if Darth Vader was truly his father, and if he was, why Obi-Wan didn't tell him the truth. Kenobi had told him that he had served with his father, Anakin, during the Clone Wars, so when Luke finally found an entry about the Clone Wars in the journal, he became excited since his knowledge of the war was relatively limited. Most of the facts came from old data tapes, but only those that had been authorized by the Empire. Still, he knew that the Jedi Knights had led clone armies on behalf of the Galactic Republic against the Confederacy of Independent Systems. In the end, the Confederacy lost, the Jedi were accused of attempting to take over the Republic, and the Republic's leader, Palpatine, was proclaimed Emperor. According to Obi-Wan, it was Darth Vader who helped the Empire hunt down and destroy the Jedi. Luke turned his attention to the entry he had found and started reading it. Obi-Wan had made a notation that indicated the entry was almost 20 years old.
And then the purge began. I would soon learn that I was among the few Jedi to survive and that Palpatine had taken a new apprentice, my former student, Darth Vader. And because of Darth Vader, Anakin was gone as well. When I finally caught up with Vader, I sensed nothing but pure evil about him. For unlike Ventress, Vader was not a victim of unfortunate circumstances. Yes, he had his struggles and his shortcomings, but he was not a weak being who feared abandonment. He was a powerful man who had been given opportunities to better himself, yet he only craved more power and chose his own path to betray the Jedi and become a Sith. He was my greatest failure. My duel with Vader was awful in its savagery. In the end, he was more determined to kill me than defend himself, and was blind with fury when I felled him. I left him maimed and burning on the shores of a lava river. To have dealt him a killing blow might have been the merciful thing to do, but I had no mercy for Vader. Because I am a Jedi, not a cold-blooded murderer, all I could do was leave Vader to his fate. Had I killed then and there, I believe I would have taken a step onto the same dark path that he had found so impossible to resist. But by leaving him for dead, I fear I failed yet again, for I soon learned that Vader had survived in a fashion. Like the late General Grievous, he is mostly machine now, a malevolent construct of pistons and gears, plastoid and wires. His mortal remains fueled by the dark side. The galaxy will never know peace until Darth Vader and the Emperor breathe their last. It is hard for me to see what the future holds. Fortunately, I have my mission and my ongoing studies of the Force to help me be mindful of the present, as well as the daily rigors of survival on Tatooine. Whatever tomorrow may bring, I must be ready for it.
By the time Luke reached the end of the entry, he realized he'd been holding his breath for over a minute. Exhaling slowly, he returned to the beginning, scanning the text to see if he had missed something. He had never heard of Asajj Ventress, Count Dooku, an Iridonian Zabrak, or any of the battles that Obi-Wan had mentioned, but these revelations barely even registered. Luke was frustrated that Kenobi hadn't written more about Anakin and Vader. He reread aloud the two lines that had especially commanded his attention. Palpatine had taken a new apprentice, my former student, Darth Vader. And because of Darth Vader, Anakin was gone as well. The words sounded hollow in his mouth. Although Obi-Wan had not written in so many words that Darth Vader had killed Anakin, that was what Obi-Wan had told him had happened. He wondered just how carefully Kenobi had chosen his words when he had written that Anakin was gone. And then he read again about how Obi-Wan had left Vader to die. Luke had no illusions that Darth Vader was a killer. Vader had also tortured both Princess Leia and Han Solo on different occasions. On Cloud City, Vader had maimed Luke before inviting him to join the dark side and help him overthrow the Emperor. But despite all the horrible things Vader had done, and despite the fact that Obi-Wan had had no mercy for Vader, Luke was surprised that he felt something other than horror or anger at the thought of the armored Lord of the Sith. He felt sorry for Vader. As a sting of phantom pain chewed at his right wrist where his prosthetic hand began, Luke wondered what exactly had happened all those years ago on an unidentified world along the shores of a lava river. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and may the Force be with you.